tell me how you met Paddy the night that you first met Dad.
I first met Dad on October 3rd. That would have been 1968. I was out with my girlfriend Sharon and with another girl by the name of Diane. And back then, all the teenagers hung out at the Congress Bar and Pizza in Ishpeming after dances and games. And so we were walking through the Congress and just checking things out.
Well, the first time I met Gail, I met her at the Congress Bar. I was sitting at a bar stool. And some friends introduced them, us, and I thought she was beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Anything you remember about that night, what you were wearing or what Gail was wearing?
I believe Gail was wearing a yellow but with plaid shirt with jeans.
And you?
I don't remember what I was wearing.
Anything that caught your interest about Gail?
Anything that caught my interest? What's this video for? For this start
All of this. And do you remember what you said to Gail that night?
No, quite. I did make a few of my finished comments with her, you know, my little tee, my little chickadee, and be my soup and baby kind of.
My girlfriend noticed Paddy sitting on a bar stool, my girlfriend Sharon, and she said, "Oh, he's cute. I'd like to meet him." And the other girl we were with, Diane, she said, "I know him. I can introduce you." So we went over and we got introduced to Paddy, and he was sitting at the bar having a Coke. And so we talked a little bit. And
I asked her if she wanted to go to a party. I think it was that night. Or it may have been another. No, was that? I think I can't remember exactly.
And then he said, "There's a big party tomorrow night. You girls want to come?" And we said, "Sure, we'll go to a party." He said, "That." Anyway, we told him where we lived. You know, we didn't really have a date set up or anything, but he was just going to come and pick us up so we could go to this big party thing anyway. And so the next night, sure enough, he came with his 1947 Pontiac, and he was with his friend Scott. And so got into the car and went to pick up my girlfriend Sharon and headed up to Ishpeming to the party. And I guess that was our informal first date. We kind of hung out. I hung out with him for most of the night, and Sharon hung out with Scott. So that was the beginning.
Anything that he was wearing or his appearance that struck you or that you can remember from that first night you met?
He had on he had a pair of jeans, and I believe he had on a paisley, like a deep red paisley, which was popular back in those days. Paisley was popular. He had made it in home ec, this jacket. And his hair was it was short on the sides, because back in school in those days you had to have short hair on the sides, but on the top it was way long, and he'd go like this with it and get the bangs on. So that's what I remember about him. He liked to wear an old hat too, like the men would wear back in the 40s, one of those dressy kind of hats. But yeah, I'm not sure if he wore it that night, but he did wear that quite a bit back then. And then we had our next date. Then from then on, then we were just dating pretty regular.
Do you remember what you were wearing that first night you met?
Probably just a pair of jeans and a shirt. I remember. No, was that the next night? I don't remember. One night I was with him. I had a green dress on with some gold in it. And back at those times, fishnet nylons were popular. I don't remember wearing those, but maybe that's what I had on. I can remember. I don't remember.
What was your most memorable experience before your wedding, between the time you met him and your wedding?
Oh my goodness. I mean, we
highlights.
Let's see, we met each other in 68, we got married in 71, so we knew each other for almost 3 years before we got married.
And then at the time I was engaged, 3 years almost went by in that memorable period of time. We had all sorts of memorable times together.
Any that stick out about the other?
Anything that sticks out about the others? We just kind of became close friends from then on.
So what would a highlight of that been? Oh my goodness. I don't know, probably when we got engaged on December 7th of 1970. It was Pearl Harbor Day. We were supposed to get engaged at Christmas time, but we had ordered the ring from this jewelry catalog, and when it came in the mail, I couldn't wait for it. I kind of took charge and put the ring on, so I didn't let him do his romantic proposal like I should have.
Well, the engagement was going to take place on December 7th. And no, it was going to take place on Christmas Eve. And the ring came in the mail. We ordered it through a mail order. I think it was Parker Brothers or Park House or Park something or other jewelers. And we ordered the rings from. And when they came in the mail, they were in the box there on the 7th of December. Gail had to have her ring. And she couldn't wait till Christmas or Christmas Eve to get her Christmas, to get her engagement ring. So it ended up happening over at her house on December 7th.
What qualities did you see in Paddy that made you want to marry him?
Qualities. Well, he was a fun-loving person. I liked his personality. He was always fun to be with. He made me laugh. Still makes me laugh. Just real considerate. He never was a person given to anger, just always very caring. And he also is very affirming, very complimentary. And so I guess basically that was the most things.
What qualities, traits, and things about Mom drew you to her to want to be married to her?
Well, she has a very beautiful voice. Just the talking voice. She's just very soothing and nice in the way. She has a beautiful complexion. I think she's well built, attractive. I've been married to a woman now that become many different people through the years, but it's her heart that I really love.
What's your favorite thing about her personality?
She's laughing all the time. She laughs, and she's up a joy.
Is that why they call her Green Gail?
I didn't know they called her Grinning Gail, but yeah, she's just smiling all the time.
Highlight of your wedding day, any memories and things that happened on wedding day that you remember?
Well, my wedding day was June 5th, and it was a very hot day. Very hot for June for the UP. I think it was up in the 80s, between 80 and 90. We got married at Emmanuel Lutheran Church in Nagant, the church I was raised in. We had an afternoon wedding. It was pretty nice. Pastor Kempen then married us. We only had one session of counseling before we got married. We were very young. I was only 17 years. Dad was only, 19 or 20. Pretty young we started out, but my sister stood for me. It pretty much went off the way I hoped it would. We had a nice wedding, a nice reception. A lot of people came and celebrated that day with us. And my dad gave me a ring, walked me down the aisle. It was, I think, kind of a sad day for him in a way, but not that he didn't like Paddy, but it was, I saw him get a little teary-eyed, so my dad wasn't giving much emotion. But it was good. We had a good wedding, good reception.
Our wedding day, June 5th, that was the day that we went to Emmanuel Church. And I remember the car that day. I had a 64 Plymouth, a red car. And my brother decided to really do something to the car. He chained a 30-gallon drum. You know, usually you have tin cans on the back of your car. Well, he put on a 30-gallon drum. So he went to drive the car after the wedding. We were dragging this big drum that would bounce and behind the car and sparks are flying and whatever. I I remember Gail walking down the aisle, very beautiful. She had, at that time, she had these dark blacker glasses, a little bit rim kind of glasses, and but her countenance, bright, a beautiful wedding dress, very beautiful. And I remember her sweating a lot. I was at Lutheran Church. It was hot that day.
Headed out on our honeymoon to, didn't have it planned at all. We just got in the car. We took the money box that you got for your cars, hopped in the car and headed out. And we ended up staying in Iron Mountain our first night. And then we went down to Madison and down to Kankakee, Illinois, and around Lake Michigan. And we were gone for about a week, I think.
Tell me a little bit about the deal you made with when you told your mother, Jeanette, that you were going to marry Paddy.
It was a deal. We wanted to get married between my junior and senior year of high school. And my mom said, no way. You're not getting married before you graduate from high school. So I said, fine. I will graduate from high school because you had to have your parents sign for you if you were greater than 18. But the first Saturday after I graduate, I'm getting married. And my mom said, fine, as long as you graduate first. So I actually graduated on Thursday, June 3rd. Had our wedding rehearsal on Friday and got married on Saturday. So my mom signed. As long as I was graduated, it was okay.
How long have you been married, Paddy?
37 years.
37 years. And highlights, anything from the 37 years
My
you?
goodness, tons of highlights.
Anything you want to share?
Of course, the birth of all our children is always a highlight for us. We had Christian, and then Matthew, and then Becky, and then Tim. And of course, another big highlight in our lives was finding the Lord Jesus and making him our Lord and Savior and deciding to live our lives for him. And as Pat felt a call to the ministry, quitting his job. And at that time, we had 3 children when we moved to Minneapolis to start Bible college. And literally pretty much gave up everything we had and sold it all and moved over there to begin, in a way, a new life. And Paddy didn't always have much interest in school things, but once he got born again, he just got a real desire for the things of the Lord and the Bible and studying, doing all that. So that was a highlight. We lived in Minneapolis from 75 until about 81. They were good years of getting a firm foundation and preparing for ministry. And so,
When I became a Christian in 1974, and I was just in church all the time, reading the Bible all the time. Gail became a Christian 2 weeks after I did, and she saw the change in my life. And as time went on, she saw me dealing with different issues, and one of them was wrestling with the thoughts I was having, the impressions I was having that I was being called into the ministry. And I worked with Cleveland Cliff time, and we had 2 children, and then a third one was soon to be on the way. So it was a big step for her. Give up her home to move to Minneapolis, but she hadn't lived in a different place like Minneapolis. I think she was excited and scared at the same time. And I do remember that she made a big sacrifice when I went to Bible college, and that she spent most of the time with the children because I went to school during the day and I worked in the evenings, and so she was there 24/7, pretty much raising the children.
he had a call to go to Marquette when he was in Bible college, and then was it 81 or 82 that were open for him to go to Marquette and pastored there for 21 years, and that's where our kids mostly grew up. And now we're at the stage of grandkids. We have 11 thus far, and our family's just been a blessing to us. And now here we are learning, so we'll see what God has for us in the future.
Last 37 years.
That small window there.
Okay. Now, I think of her being a mother. I think of her being my partner. think of all the things that we've done together. I think of times we've spent with friends and family.
37 years of marriage, any advice to people on things that can lead or help a successful marriage?
Well, I think we didn't always do things the way we do them now. I think praying together is a vital part. For quite a few years, we each owned our own prayer lives. And I don't know, maybe about 10, 15 years ago, to my delight, and after I would ask Paddy to pray with me, he felt the need to start praying together on a pretty daily basis as much as possible. And I think another thing that was important is that we've tried to establish is we don't look at divorce as an option. That marriage is something you need to work at. You have to be forgiving and loving. And not to say we arrived, we still have our moments, but overall it's been very good. And just take one day at a time, and you try to understand where the other one's coming from. We have our different uniqueness and different giftings, and we still know how to press each other's buttons, but you try not to do that at all possible.
Make it a commitment from day one. Don't allow the word divorce to be in your vocabulary. Call it the D word. And not be used. And have a lot of grace with one another. Be very forgiving. We all have our moments, and we all have our differences, and we all have our space at times. And it's not about us; it's about each other. And so we just need many times just give of ourselves to the other person.
Craziest thing that your husband's ever done that you can think of?
Oh my goodness, the craziest thing. See, now this is where I have to stop and think. Crazy. He's a lot of crazy things.
Goofy, silly.
Oh, there was the day that this one was funny because we had bought some property on Midway Drive. We were going to clear a lot to build a house, and so Paddy was going to take down this big tree. This big pine tree needed to come down, and they started. He and my brothers and a couple other people started working on this tree, and thought he had it figured out so that the tree would fall like into the property rather than out toward the road where the power lines were. And I don't know what happened, but that tree started falling like it was supposed to, and all of a sudden I think there was ropes on it. The ropes snapped, and that tree popped back up and actually went the other way, snapped on all the electricity lines, so everyone in the neighborhood was out of electricity. And my dad thought it was so funny that it's just, even yet today, it makes me chuckle because my dad just loved it when Pat goofed up for some reason. He great delight in Patty's in mistakes, but I know he loved Paddy a lot, but it was kind of funny. And I know he did so many things, I don't know.
Is that the Paul Mackey picture here?
Paul Mackey touch.
Last, being married 37 years and reflecting back on everything, any message you'd like to give your husband?
Well, I just think he's taken me on quite a ride. It's been an adventure. I wouldn't trade it for the world. It's been a wonderful life together. He's been my best friend. I'm able to share anything with him. We just have a wonderful relationship where we're just very open. We laugh together. And he's just been always an encouragement for me. And it's just been fun. Fun. I love it.
Reflecting back on 37 years of marriage and your relationship, if you could tell Mom any things that, just a feeling, reflecting on anything you could tell her, what would you tell her?
Well, I would tell her that I'm the luckiest in the world to be married to her. She's a wonderful partner. We have been good for each other. She's a person who's warm and loving. She's when it comes to finances, she is frugal and does things well, and enjoy our company. We just enjoy talking, being with each other, and praying together, and we love one another.
Anything else you'd like to share with us? Any story, anything else?
Mm-hmm. I think, some of the more difficult times that Gail has gone through in her life was accepting herself. And I've often seen beautiful side of her. And I think that she has gifts, talents that are still yet into full blooming or growing.